What's up, everybody? This is Versus. We're up at episode 40 something, whatever. We're going through the ITN distribution catalog. I am John Moore. That is Will Cohen. It's our second movie in the ITN catalog, aside from the ones we've already seen. But Will, how you feel today?
Well, John, do I have a pitch for you? Have you ever wanted to have a premise of a movie so fucking great and then have it completely let you down within the first 5 minutes of the film? Well, if you ever have this, you are probably watching this movie.
This one?
Uncle John, don't worry. I won't let anybody hurt you. You duck down behind here and don't let them see you.
I don't know how I got this way.
So you're telling us that your Uncle John has managed to stay alive all this time without getting shot in the head or burnt in a bonfire?
He could not have survived all this time without my help.
Hey! I'm looking at you and I'd like to chomp into you.
And somehow I believe you're not kidding about that.
Shot. Even if you don't get bitten, you might get shot.
Zombies need to be spiked.
You evil undead menace!
There's some great perks for famous zombies.
No! I hope Uncle John's good and hungry.
You're so cute.
No chance.
Well, I'm having the time of my death.
But back then, they were dangerous.
You wouldn't believe it, but all the chicks run from me.
Yeah, that is Michael John is a zombie, and do not adjust your screen. That is George Costanza. That is the actual guy that plays the actual sheriff in the original Night of the Living Dead, picking up a paycheck here. A lot of people show up in this movie for their paycheck, I would say. There's so many people to show up in this movie. It's weird.
And that's actually not the only Night of the Living Dead reference. Like, they basically make Night of the Living Dead out to be a documentary in this film, and they just shove references down your throat.
Last week you were indicted for a crime that was 40 years old.
It's not a crime. It's an accident. Besides, I wasn't even the one who pulled the trigger.
The film is dispersed with ads.
Together, we developed an amazing new sexual aid, Zombie Lube.
And we'll get to those ads, trust me. And one of them has the dollar amount of $19.68, which
is the year.
If you're a trivia buff, that's the year that Night of the Living Dead came out.
We formed the Zombie Protection Society, or ZPS, and please join us in our humanitarian crusade.
All you have to do is pay our modest membership fee, and you can get your own personal certificate.
They actually make reference to this movie being in the same universe as Night of the Living Dead, and it's basically a continuation of the world, not the Dawn of the Dead path, but the Night of the Living Dead, that universe, where we have control over the zombie population. They did not overrun us. We've always maintained the zombie population, which is weird because they kind of waver back and forth in that camp in this movie as well. Not that I expect a low budget movie to have any sort of integrity or consistency, but this movie does not have either.
Let's be fair though, John. We have seen enough low budget films to have that kind of consistency. The one factor is not the budget. The one factor is giving a shit.
Yeah.
And this is ITN in not 1996. That would have actually made sense. No, in 2016, they obviously didn't quite understand that they could rustle up people who gave a shit enough to act their way out of a paper bag, and not just let people go by, like have their character's name be literally their name. We're looking at you, sci-fi.
Now, go over there and keep an eye out for the pigs.
Yeah. Like, let me just run through some of the stuff, and I'll toss the clips in here as well. Like, Felissa Rose, from Sleepaway Camp and numerous other movies, is in this movie. She's credited as being in this movie. The only scene she's in is like her sitting on Uncle John's lap, and they loop that scene a bunch of times in the movie.
Darling, love to munch on you. I want you, darling.
So I don't know how much they paid her, and I'm not even going to say shame on her. Get your money, Felissa. Do your thing. Tiffany Shepis, who's like basically got like a relatively decent reputation of being like a B movie scream queen. She's in this movie.
Good morning. You're watching On the Air.
Okay.
Debbie Rochon, who's also been in a bunch of like decent like B horror movies, is in this movie. She's the female hunter.
I call bullshit on that. That was my kill, Joe. Why do men always think that women can't shoot?
Then for some weird reason, Lloyd Kaufman and like 3 trauma actors, like the guy that plays the Toxic Avenger, the guy that plays Kabuki Man, and the guy that plays Dolphin Man, are in one scene.
This Uncle John character is becoming very popular all over the world, and people think that our superhuman monster heroes aren't real, and they think he's real.
Where they're just angry that Uncle John exists, and they storm off camera like that. They unnecessarily throw weird like Kentucky Fried Movie shit into this movie for no good reason.
And then we need to talk about these ads. So the entire movie is the titular character Uncle John narrating to us, like either on or off screen.
Cheap bourbon. I don't have to go top shelf anymore.
So there's no stakes because he's survived.
Yeah, exactly. So we 100% understand that he is going to survive this movie. Although, to be fair, they kind of pulled a similar shtick with Sunset Boulevard. We all know how it happened there, but
yeah,
it's very clear these guys.
This is not Sunset Boulevard.
No. And so, like, he's a proper zombie. He's talking about drinking. He's talking about like how he survived. He's talking about all this stuff. He talks about how fucking horny he is the entire time, the entire movie.
There are some great perks for famous zombies.
Yeah.
And throughout the film, we see him either plugging random products.
I'm the most interesting zombie in the world, and my beer of choice is Cold Crit Pilsner.
Or, even more shamelessly than that, we hear him bastardize classic songs to be about zombie eating or zombie fucking.
Zom, 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 zombie doobie, zom, 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 zombie doobie, zom, 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 zom.
Yeah. If you enjoy jokes about erections, or jokes about just creepy old men hitting on girls, you will really enjoy this movie. So, like, if my uncle was still alive, he would really enjoy this movie because he enjoyed talking about erections and hitting on young girls. So he would have loved this movie. He would have seen Uncle John as a go-getter.
Yeah, if you like the term zombie lube, boy, is this the movie for you.
Yeah, there's like a lot of, and it's like this is a complaint we make about so many movies. Like, it's like they didn't leave any jokes out. And not only did they not leave the jokes out, they never even bothered to figure out how to deliver those jokes so that they sounded like jokes. They just put those words in the movie.
Like there's the setup, there's the punchline, but at no point did they have like the section of the joke where the audience gives a shit.
Yeah, I don't think there were any second takes on anything. Like, I think, like, I got those lines out. That's it. Cut. Print it. Also, like I guess let me take a crack at the actual plot of the movie. So for some reason, Uncle John is a zombie, yes, but he's also he's like a real person, even though there's other zombies that are zombies. His niece and nephew have devised a method to like basically keep him alive-ish.
I make sure he only bites people who deserve it.
In this town, there's a guy named Stush. He's like a gangster type, but his racket is he has like a zombie hunting farm where he'll like round up zombies, and you're allowed to come hunt on his property like a game preserve. It's like the least dangerous game.
I want to shoot them, Grandpa. Me too, Grandpa. Yay, I got mine.
And you can hunt zombies there, and for some he'll pay you if he pays the people that kill the zombies that his business model doesn't make sense. I don't know how he makes money.
No, like this model, like I kept on sitting there trying to understand the logic. It's like every zombie hunting every zombie hunt, every hunter has to pay him $2,000 up front to even start hunting.
But then he's paying them for every zombie they kill.
Right. So then, and he's only paying per kill.
And he's also letting like 5 or 6 hunters shoot at a limited number of zombies at the same time. So it would be impossible to determine who's killing who. And they argue over it.
Which we see at the very beginning. Yeah.
It's real dumb. So that's happening. But the big thing is if they can get Uncle John in there, they can make tons of money because everyone will pay lots of money to hunt Uncle John. And then they do that, but then these zombies that basically we are under the understanding that we live in a society where there are zombies, but there's no zombie crisis. Like they just fucking run rampant at the end of the movie all of a sudden. Which leads me to believe that they are dangerous, even though they're not dangerous. It's really weird.
Yeah, and when we're essentially told that Uncle John is the only one, and then the only one who's like a sentient zombie. And then we're introduced to and I shit you not, a zombie acting class. So they can get onto either a Romero film or an episode of The Walking Dead.
And I'm going to demonstrate how zombies in the movies are supposed to act. Every zombie is supposed to have a certain amount of rigor mortis. This is how you are to move on camera.
Oh. And it's weird though, because like, what am I? Oh yeah, there's also the B plot is, one of the reasons they're keeping Uncle John alive is they feed him like child molesters. It's like Dexter, like they feed him criminals. But there's a cop that's on the trail of them because like you can't do that. That's illegal. And the cop wants to arrest Uncle John and Oscar and Sci-Fi. It's so like haphazardly clobbed together. And then, but there's also like a news crew, and they're unscrupulous, and they're trying to do things. And the one newscaster's drugging the nephew. There's so much happens.
Yeah, it's like the newscaster from, and I shit you not, Flesh TV,
and the other one's from Faux News,
which warms my black heart every single time I see it, because you know exactly what they were going for.
Yeah.
But like the one from Flesh TV drugs Oscar for some reason under the guise
so that he'll tell her where. The thing is, he'll tell her where Uncle John is, but like she was seducing him anyway, so the need to drug him felt unnecessary. But whatever.
Maybe so she didn't have to screw him.
I guess. I mean, she probably could have walked out.
Like, yeah, he wasn't running far. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that plot didn't make any sense. And then, like that woman's camera guy is like trying to like extort Stush, and then he gets like thrust into into the pen of zombies and eaten.
What are you doing? You gotta let me out of here.
Yeah.
Like, and the zombie effect, like the zombie eating effects are just terrible. It's like, it looks like they just like made a bunch of ramen noodles, caked them in like fake blood, and just
like,
made people eating them. It was just so stupid.
And there's lots of just like, it's like your typical, like, we're just gonna take blood and throw it. Like, here's blood, we're throwing blood, everybody. There's my blood effects. Throwing blood.
Well, half the time it looks like CGI blood to begin with, which is just really, really dumb.
Yeah, I can see that too. And then at the end of the movie, like, all the bad guys die and Uncle John survives, and for some reason the detective sleeps with them, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like the the end, like, wrap up stuff, like the summary stuff that we saw, some of that was actually kind of amusing, because they have like a real funny bit where they like, where one of like the hunters like dies, and they keep on like, they keep, like, they show him, it's like that, like, Dan, Dan wishes he had some zombie lube right now. A couple other things, and then they cut back. He still wishes he really had some zombie lube. Blah blah blah. Here's this person. Then they showed it like the wall where he was leaning up against, and it says, "Oh shit, where'd Dan go?" That amused me. That was like one of the, like, that was a joke that like absolutely solidly landed. But unfortunately for this movie, every single time a joke lands, that means at least 10 are not.
Yeah, there's a lot of just like, it's like open mic night, and there might be one good comedian going up. That's what this movie is. But I've shown enough clips. Let's go to the ratings. I know you were pretty generous with this movie. I mean, again, it's not like embarrassingly bad. The acting is just hot fucking garbage. They had the conflict of a good movie here, and they beat you to death. Like, it's like I'm between like a 1.5 and a 2, but I'm gonna put a 2 just because, like, Lloyd Kaufman shows up. Like, there's a lot of like hee like nostalgia kind of stuff. Like, it's worth a watch, I guess, but it's not good. It just isn't.
Right. And I was a little bit more generous than that. I went 2.5. I think the reason why I went 2.5 is because all throughout the film, like, there are just genuine moments where I just cracked up. Like, whether it's like one of the ads just going harder than it should have, or just like just a situational moment that's just so absurd I had to chuckle.
Also, I gotta say, the firefight of like the three, like the police chief and Sci-Fi and Oscar versus all the hunters, and like no one is using cover.
No.
It's like the three of them are just shooting, and then the 5 people are using cover and they're shooting back, but somehow they win this firefight. Makes zero sense. But
I
digress.
But at the same time, I've come to expect that none of these films are ever going to make sense,
right?
To a fundamental degree. So I can't really mark that against the stuff when that's never been a consistent. There's like none of these films ever have any kind of sense of sanity or sense at all. But at the same time, this is one of those films that if they would have given even an ounce of shit, they could have had a really, really good movie. Like, but this film, like, it's really sad that like Tommy Wiseau clearly cared more about The Room than these people cared about this.
Yeah, like, this concept was done well. It's called Warm Bodies. Check that out. This is like if somebody just had heard the concept of warm bodies being whispered while they were taking a dump in the next stall, they're like, I'm going to steal this idea. That's basically what this is, but they just didn't stick around for the entire plot. Like, that is exactly what this is. It's the same type of movie done as poorly as possible.
Yeah.
That's it. We're going to continue our ITN rampage next week. The next movie on the list is Paranormal Demon.
Paranormal Demon.
That's what it's called. Whatever. Those are two words that are in the title of this movie. But if you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. If you have time, Join the Letterboxd challenge, which is right here at this page. You can watch these bad movies if you want. You can make them part of it, or not, or watch good movies. I don't care. If you want, there is a drinking game in the description if you choose to watch this movie. Again, not the worst time you'll ever have. It's weird, whatever. Like this might be one of the first movies that we're not exactly telling you to not watch. It's just fucking ridiculous. But hey, the schedule's always the same. Sunday is Why We Love Horror TV. Monday is Versus You're Watching It. Thursday, Why We Love Horror, we're covering Steven Soderbergh's Presence, came out last week. And Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia. We're back with matches, baby. We'll see you next time. I'm John Marr, and that's Will Cohen. And this has been this isn't Why We Love Horror. This is Versus. And this is the outro.